Hello guys, this is Pearl again, and today I am super excited to take you through a tutorial on how to create or build a website in Speedwapp from scratch. So let's quickly get started to build our website from scratch. Let's go. The first thing we are going to do to create or build our website is first of all to click on this button. Now when you click on this button, just drag and drop or look for a template that will help you design the first page. So I'm going to drag and drop this section right here, and we are going to design our first page, which is the website banner. So just enlarge the section a bit. Now once you enlarge the section, we are going to add some elements inside the section. First of all, we are going to add a heading, and we're also going to add a button. So just locate button right here and drag and drop the button inside the section. So we have two elements inside of this section. The next thing we are going to do is to change the background of the section. So make sure that the entire section is selected. You can do that right from here, or go to navigation and click section just to make sure that the entire section is selected. Once the entire section is selected, go back to click on the style button, and the style panel opens up for you. So we are going to locate this image box right here. Click on the image box, and we are going to choose a file. So choose whatever image you want to use as your background. Click open, and the image will be uploaded inside the background for you. Now this is our image right here, and the image has filled the background of the section. If you're not satisfied with the behavior of the image inside the container, all you have to do is to locate size, and the size, click on this drop down arrow and change to cover or contain, depending on what you want. Okay, I prefer contain, and this is good. The next thing we are going to do is to make sure that there are spaces between our elements, and also space at the top and at the left hand side of our section. So to do that, first of all, make sure that the entire section is selected. We are going to add a padding at the top and also a padding at the left. So once the entire section is selected, just locate padding. Padding is right here. Give your section a padding of 100. You're going to give it a padding of 100, and you're also going to give it a left padding of 50. Okay, so now we have more space at the top, more space at the left. You can also give it a bottom padding as well of 50. You're not going to see the bottom padding because there's no element at the bottom, so it's not visible, but a bottom padding has been added. The next thing to do is to make sure that there are spaces between these elements. So just click on this button right here, and we are going to, this time around, locate margin. So you are going to give this an upper margin. So just give the button an upper margin of 50. Now we have space between our elements, so we are going to change whatever information that is in here. So let's start with the heading. Just select the heading, click, delete whatever information that is in there, and type in your own information. So we are going to type get served, enter, then now. Okay, so you realize that this information right here is too small. So to increase the font size, just make sure that the template is selected. Once it's selected, just locate the font size container and type in your preferred font size. I'm going to change this to 70px. Enter. Once you succeed in changing the font size of your template or of your heading, we need to change the font color. To change the font color, just click on this font color, and we are going to drag to change the font color to white. Now you can exit out of that. Once you succeed in changing the font color, the next thing is to bolden it. So you are going to bolden this information right here. Now the next editing we are going to do is on this button right here. So first of all, select the button. Now once the button is selected, the next thing you are going to do is to change the background of the button. So to change the background, go back to the style panel and locate the color background right from here. I'm going to change the background to red. So just drag and choose a good color, a good shade of red, or any color you want to use. The next thing is to increase the font size. So to increase the font size, just locate the font size container. We are going to increase this to 30px. So type in 30px. All right, so we've succeeded in increasing the font size as well. The last thing to do is to change whatever information. Just change the text to order. and we're also going to bolden this as well. So just select the button and click on bold to bolden it. Okay, now this is good. If you're satisfied with whatever you have created so far, you can just quickly review it, and if you are satisfied with everything here, you can move on. The last thing I want to do is to change the font color of this text. Okay, I just want to change the font color of the text to white. So I'm going to locate the color wheel, select yellow, and drag and change to, I'm going to change the font color to yellow. So let's change that to yellow. Just drag and choose the preferred yellow you want to use. Okay, so this is good. All right, so I'm satisfied with whatever I have done so far. Now, if you are good and you've reviewed your first page, your website's banner is good, you can move on to create the second page. So our second page we are going to create is the About Us page. And to create the About Us page, just go back to click on this plus button right here. Once you click on the plus button, this time around, you are going to drag and drop a row. So this is the row. Drag and drop the row beneath the first one. Now, the next step is to enlarge the row just to give you more space to work. So let's enlarge our row to give us more space to work. Now we are going to work on the left column. This is the left column right here. I'm going to change the background of the left column. To do that, just make sure that the left column is selected. Once it's selected, click on the image box right here. We are going to change it to an image. So just select any image you want to use, click on open, and it will just fill up the background for you. Now we are not satisfied with how the image is looking inside the container. So let's change the behavior. I'm going to change to cover. Okay, so cover looks good. And you can further just resize up. Okay, and this is great. Now we're also going to design the right column. To design the right column, we are going to input some elements inside the right column. And to do that, go back to click on this plus button. First of all, I'll drag and drop a heading. Then secondly, drag and drop a paragraph. The paragraph is right here. And the last element we want to add is a button. So if you don't want to keep redesigning your button, all you have to do is you can just select the first button, just duplicate the first button and drag and drop inside. Okay, that is how to just, it's a fast way of not continuing redesigning the button over and over again. So now we are going to change this information right here. So change this information to About Us. And also we are going to increase the font size. Okay, so this was, the first headline was 70. So to maintain consistency, we are going to also change this to 70px. 70px. All right. Now we are also going to change the paragraph information. So delete whatever information that is in there and input your own information as well. Now that is great. Now we're also going to increase or change the font size of this paragraph. So let's change that to 18. So just make sure that the paragraph template is selected, and now you can change the font size to 18. Now this is also good as well. Now we're going to only change whatever information that is in here to read more. Okay, so this is good. And you realize that there's not enough space at the top and the text is shifted too much to the left-hand side. So just make sure that the right column is selected, because you are going to add an upper padding and also a left padding. Once the right column is selected, all you have to do is again to locate padding in the style panel. So padding is right here. So give the right column an upper padding. We are just going to give it an upper padding of 20, just to move it down just a little bit. And we're also going to give it a left padding as well of 50. Okay, now this is good. Now if you're satisfied with whatever you see right here, then you can go ahead and design the next page. If not, you can decide to do more editing. So I just want to move this down a bit. So just select it, locate margin. I'm just going to give it a margin of 20 just to move it down a bit. Now this is good. You can quickly exit out of that. Now let's move on to design the next page. So the next page will be the services page. But before we design the next page, you realize that this right here was bolden, so then you definitely need to bolden this as well. So just click on the heading template and click on bold, just to bolden the text. Okay, now to design the next page, you have to go back and click on this plus button, and we are also going to drag the same row. So drag and drop the same row beneath the about us and expand it. So we are going to expand this to give us more space to work. So let's quickly do that. Okay, now if you are satisfied with the resizing, you can just fill the columns with some information. We are going to start designing, or we are going to start with the right column first. So first of all, just select the right column. We are going to drag and drop some elements in the right column. We are going to start with the heading. So drag and drop heading 4. I prefer heading 4. Then go back, click on the plus button, drag and drop heading 1. And the last thing to do is to drag and drop heading 4 again. So drag and drop heading 4. Okay, now I have 3 elements. I would like to add a paragraph. So just add a paragraph. And the last thing we'll add is a button. So just locate a button. Okay, we are not going to add a button. What we are going to do is to duplicate this button right here. So just duplicate the button, click on it, duplicate, and just move it right there. Okay, so now we are going to edit whatever information that is in here. So let's start with the first paragraph, or the first heading, which is heading 4. So you are going to type in the best, edit this information, cakes, and also edit this one as well. For you, I'm going to change it to for you. And we are also going to input some information in the paragraph. So just type in your own information as well. And the last thing to do is to edit the button. So find more. Okay, great. Now it's time to align this element properly. So you can see right here that the elements are not aligned properly. So to do that, just make sure that the entire column is selected, which is the left column. Okay, now we are going to align it to the center. You can see that all the elements has been moved to the center. Now the next thing is to make sure that there's more space at the top. So to do that, just locate padding again. Where is padding? Padding is right here. We are going to give this an upper padding of 50 so that it drops down, and this is good. The next thing we want to do is to move the paragraph a bit down. So to do that, just make sure the paragraph is selected, locate margin. Once you locate margin, you can give the paragraph an upper margin, just a little margin of just 20, just to move it a little bit down. Now this is good. Now we also want to change the alignment of this first heading. We want to move it a bit to the left. So to do that, just select this heading, select the best. Once you select the first heading, we want to make sure that we move it a little bit to the left. So to do that, locate padding. Now once you locate padding, we are going to give it a right padding. So right here is a right padding. So just give this a right padding of 100. When you give it a right padding of 100, you realize that the element or the text is being shifted a bit to the left hand side. Now this is good. The second thing we are going to do is also to change the alignment of for you, or this third element right here. Now we want to make sure that we are moving this to the right. So to move this element to the right hand side, we are going to give it a left padding. So look, make sure the element or the template is selected and give it a left padding. We're also going to give this a left padding of 100, just to move it a bit to the right. Now if you're satisfied with what you see, or if you've got the result you wanted, then you can move on to do more editing. So I'm going to change cakes. You're going to increase the font size of cakes. So let's just increase the font size, locate the size container, and type in your preferred font size. I'm going to increase this to 50px. So 50px, enter. All right, so I've succeeded in increasing the font size as well. Now you can just take a quick look at whatever you have done so far. If you like it, then you can move on to design the next page. So you can quickly review what you have done so far. If you're satisfied with it, then you can go ahead and create or design the right column. So before we design the right column, we quickly want to change the background. So just make sure that the entire row is selected. You can quickly do that from here. Once the entire row is selected, just locate the background color, and we are going to change this background. Okay, so this is a good background, so let's just leave it that way. Now you realize that when we change the background, the text is not visible, so we are going to change the text. Starting from the first one, I'm going to change the font color of the text to white, and also change this to yellow. So drag and change to yellow. Okay, now I'm also going to change this to white as well. So just drag and change to white, and also change the text to white. You can also increase the font size to 18. And the last thing we are going to do is also change this text to white as well, so that it blends well with the background. Okay, so this is good. Now we are going to move on to design, or we are going to focus on filling in the right column with some information. Now we are going to fill the right column with images. So to do that, just go back and click on this button right here and look for an image. So I'm going to drag and drop the first image inside the right column. The next thing we are going to do is to resize this image. So you can just resize from here, or scroll to the bottom of the page. When you scroll to the bottom of the page, you can see the size. The size is the last thing, and this is the size panel right here. So just make sure the image is selected. Once the image is selected and you locate the size panel, we are going to change the width. So let's change the width to 400. So just click on 400px, and you can see right here that it has changed the width of the image for you. Now the next thing is to change the height. So let's quickly change the height to 200. So 200px, just click on 200px. Now you can come back to click on your image to resize it to fill the container. Now the next thing is to position the image properly. So you can see right here that the image is not positioned properly. So to do that, just make sure you select the right column. Once the right column is selected, locate padding. Now we're going to give our right column a padding. So first of all, let's start with the upper padding. Give it an upper padding of 20, just for it to drop down a bit. And we're also going to give it a left padding as well. So we can give it a left padding of 100. So just type in 100px, enter. Okay, now if you are satisfied with the position of your image, we need two images in this column right here. So the next thing to do is to duplicate the image. So just click on the image right here, right click, and duplicate your image. So now we have two images inside the right column. Now the next thing to do is to make sure that there are spaces between these two images. So just select the second image. Once the second image is selected, locate margin and give it an upper margin of 20, just to make sure that there is a little space between them. Now this is good. We are going to change this image. So first of all, let's begin with the first image right here. Just select the first image. Once you select it, click on property, the property button right here. Click on the image box, and you can change the image to whichever image you want to change it to. So I like to change to this one. First of all, click open. All right, so you see right here that the image has been changed. Now click on the second image and also change that image as well. Choose file and change that image. Click open. Okay, so this is good. Now we've succeeded in changing our images, and also we've succeeded in designing the next page right here. So you can quickly view, just scroll through to see what you have done so far. If you are satisfied, then you can go ahead and create the next page. Now I think I'm good. Now let's go ahead and create the next page as well. To design the next page, which is the menu, first of all, just click on this plus button, and we are going to drag and drop a heading template. So just drag and drop the heading template right here. Now we are going to change the background. So quickly change the background to black. And we're also going to change the text. So we are going to change this to menu. Center, click on center to center your text right here. And also change the font color. We're going to change the font color to yellow. So just look for yellow, drag yellow, and change the font size as well. We're going to change the font size to 70px. 70px, enter. Okay, now we've succeeded in changing this background and also changing the information right here. The next thing we are going to do is to drag and drop a row. So just locate row, drag and drop row beneath it, and enlarge your row. Just enlarge to give you more space. Now I'm going to change the background of our row. So just make sure that the entire row is selected. Once the entire row is selected, click on this image box right here and choose an image to change the background of your row. This is good. You can further expand just to give you more space to work. So you can keep expanding just to give you more space to work. The next thing we are going to do is to fill this with some information. So first of all, we are going to drag and drop a list item. So just go back, click on this plus button and locate this list item right here. Drag and drop it inside. Go back to click on the plus button again and drag and drop it inside the right column as well. Now the next thing is to make sure that our entire row is selected. Once the entire row is selected, locate padding. We are going to give our row a padding. So just give it an upper padding of 50. Okay, so 50 is not enough, so we can further increase it. Let's give it an upper padding of 200. So let's make it 200 px. Enter. Okay, this is good. Now, once you have enough space, you can decide to input some information in here. So let's start with this first one right here. So just delete whatever information that is in there. And we're going to type in cupcakes. So first of all, just type in cupcakes. And you can give it a price as well. So cupcakes is $50.00. Okay, so this is just a rough sketch, but you can input some real information. Now we are going to bolden and increase the font size as well, and also change the font color. We're going to change this to yellow. Okay, so now this is good. Now just copy the color code for yellow. So Ctrl+C and exit out of that. Now once you do that, let's change the background of the first container. We're going to change this background. So just click on this and change the background to black. All right, now select the second one and change whatever information that is in there. So we are just going to be editing the information. So we're going to change this to sweet cake. And we're also going to give it a price as well. So dollars. We are going to make this $40. The next thing we are going to do is to change the text. So paste in the color code, Ctrl+V. Once you paste in the color code, bolden, and also change the background color. We're going to change the background color to black. Do same for the next item. So we are just changing whatever information that is in there. So you can quickly do same for the rest of them. So let's do that. Once you succeed in filling up all this information, so we have some information in our menu, the next thing to do is to just enlarge it a bit, just to give it some space. So we are going to enlarge it. Click on the next one just to give it more space. Click on this as well, just to give it more space so that there can be spaces between them. Now just go here and do same for the rest of them. So we are just going to enlarge it to give it the same space. Click on the last one and do same for the last item. Okay, now this is good. Now we've succeeded in filling our menu. We've succeeded in creating our menu, which looks very good. So you can just preview from the beginning to the end to see whether you're satisfied with what you have done so far. If it is good, then feel free to move on to design the next page. So you're going to design the next page, which is the contact us page. And to do that, all you have to do is to go back and click on this button right here. Now we are going to drag and drop a section. Just drag and drop the section beneath the menu, and we are going to expand to give us more space to work. Just keep expanding till you get the size of container that you want. Now this is good. The next thing we are going to do is to add some elements here. So go back to click on the button. First of all, we'll add a heading. Drag and drop the heading. Secondly, we are going to add a paragraph. Okay, so drag and drop the paragraph right here. We are also going to add a form, so locate form and drag and drop this form right here. So drag and drop the form. Now we want to change the behavior of the form or the distribution of the form inside of the container. So to do that, make sure the form is selected. Once the form is selected, click on flex. We are going to change the orientation of the form. We are going to change it to a vertical orientation. So just click on vertical. Now we have a vertical form. The next thing we are going to do is to add a message box. So you realize that we have enter your name container, we have type your email container, but there's no container for a message box. So just go back and click on this plus button and locate form. And once you locate form, drag and drop a message box. So this right here is good. I'm going to drag and drop it right here, just before the submit button or just before the call to action button. So my message box is right here. The next thing I want to do is just to expand the container to give it more space. So just drag to expand the container. Click on enter your email. You can expand the container a bit as well, and click on the last container, which is your text. So expand this as well. Now we can quickly change this information. Okay, we can quickly change all the text information as well. So first of all, let's start with heading 1. Now I'm going to change this to contact us. So contact us. And we're also going to change this paragraph right here. So select it, delete whatever information that is in there, and paste in your own information. To complete our contact us page, we are going to change the background. So just make sure that the entire section for contact us is selected, and locate the color background right here. I'm going to change this to red. So just drag and drop and change the background to red. Now this is good. Now you realize that there is no space at the bottom right here. Okay, so once the entire section is selected, we are going to locate padding again. So where is padding? Padding is right here, and we are going to give our section a bottom padding of 20, just a little padding of 20 to give us more space right here. You realize that our form has taken the full page, the full width of the page, and it's not making our websites look very professional. So we are going to edit the form a bit. So just make sure that the entire form is selected. You can do that right from here. Once the entire form is selected, locate padding. Padding is right here. We are going to give our form a left padding and a right padding. So first of all, we are going to give it a left padding of 200. So just type in 200 in the left padding container, 200 px, enter. And we're also going to give it a right padding of 200, enter. Okay, now this is good. The last thing we are going to do is also to make changes to this button right here. The button is too big, so select the button. Once you select the button, this time around, locate margin. Margin is the space around your element, but padding is the space inside of the element. So select the call to action button, which is send your message, and we are going to give this a margin. We are going to give this a left margin and also a right margin. So locate margin right here, and let's give this a left margin of 200. So you can just type in 200 px, enter, and also type in 200 px in the right margin, enter. Okay, now this is good. We also want to make sure that there is a little space between the form and this button right here. So we are going to give it an upper margin. So we're going to just give it an upper margin of 20, and we have enough space. So you can quickly review what you have done. If it's good, you can go ahead and save what you have done so far. But first of all, we are going to change this. We are going to bolden this, just bolden this, and we are going to change the font color of the paragraph to white. So just click on the color container and change to white. This is very good. So let's review what we have done so far. So you realize that this is not boldened, so just select it and bold. Now select this as well, and we can bolden this, and we can also, let's quickly change the font size of this. Let's make it a bit bigger. So I'm going to type in 70 px. All right, now that is good. So as you scroll up, you can just do whatever editing you want to do. We just want to make sure that there's consistency from the beginning to the end before we make any additional changes. So you realize that there is consistency. Everything is in place. All the headlines are in one same font size, and also all the paragraphs are in the same font size. Likewise, the call to action button. But you realize that our website doesn't have a navigation menu, okay, which is not so good. So we need to add a navigation menu at the top. And to do that, all you have to do is to go back and click on this plus button. Once you click on the plus button, locate navigation. Navigation is right here. We are going to drag and drop an appropriate navigation. So drag and drop this navigation right here and move it way to the top. Okay, now this is the navigation. We are going to make some changes to this navigation. So just make sure the navigation is selected. Once it's selected, click on the style button. We are going to first of all change the background color. So just click on this color and we are going to change that to red. Okay, this is good. The next thing we are going to do is to change the icon right here. So just click on this icon. Once you click on the icon, click on settings right here, or you can come to this panel and click on properties. It's the same thing. Then click on the icon image box. Once you click on the icon image box, you can search for a specific icon. So I'm going to search for cake, and cake is right here. Just click on it and it has changed the icon for me. I'm also going to change this information. I'm going to put my brand there. I'm going to type Zozo. So Zozo cakes, which is very good. Now I want to make sure that all these links are aligned to the right hand side or are being moved to the right hand side. So to do that, just click on any of the links at all. You realize that the panel opens up here for you. Click on nav menu. Nav menu represents navigation menu. When you click on nav menu, you realize that all the links will be selected. So once all the links have been selected, just click on the property button right here and you can see alignment. So under alignment, click on the drop down arrow and change to right. I've changed them to right. So all the navigation menu has been moved to the right hand side. The next thing I want to do is to change the font color and also bolden it. So I'm going to make it more darker. So change the font color, make it black, and I'm also going to bolden it as well. Now we're going to do some changes to the text element right here. First of all, I'm going to change the second one. The first one is the home page, so I'm just going to leave it that way. So we have home. The second one is products. I'm going to change product to about. And I'm also going to change company to services. And we are going to change blog right here to menu. All right, we need to add one more. So all you have to do is just to make sure that everything is selected again. So just click on one and click on navigation menu. Once you click on navigation menu, just scroll down to the bottom and click on add item. So it adds one more item and we are going to change this to contact. All right, now we've succeeded in designing our navigation menu, which is very good. So you can just quickly scroll down. You can quickly close this button right here just to give you a good view of what you have created so far, just to the bottom of the page, which is very good. If you are satisfied and you don't want to do any more changes, all you can do is to click on this drop down arrow, save your work. Once you succeed in saving your work, you can also export it to have access to it. So we are going to go to export to web application. So the file is being exported right here. So the file is being exported, it's just downloading right here. Now once it's done downloading, you can just click on your exported website. So let's click on our exported website. Exit out of this. Click on new HTML. And this is exactly what we created. You can see that nothing has changed. This is exactly what we created. And this is just an exported version of the website. This is a very beautiful website we have been able to put together from scratch. Very simple and easy to create a website from scratch in Speedwapp. Okay, people, so this brings us to the end of today's tutorial on how to create a website from scratch in Speedwapp. Thank you for sticking with me from the beginning to the end. I know by now you can create something on your own in Speedwapp. If you have learned something new today, you know what to do. Click on the subscribe button and I promise to always come your way with more educative tutorials for you to learn something new. Thank you for subscribing and I will see you in the next tutorial.